In this video, I'm going to give you 3 different ways that you can ground and center. So why do you want to ground and center? Well, look, life is full and it's often stressful. And by life, I'm including work in the mix here, right? So we can get thrown off our sense of peace and groundedness and togetherness and focus super easily. You know, it could be a bit of news that we watch that's shocking or negative or it triggers fear. It could be someone inadvertently saying something that somehow sets off an old trigger in us and sends us into a headspin of some kind. It could be any number of things. You know, it could be us, our own inner judge beating ourselves up, and then that decreases our confidence and our sense of happiness and joy and readiness to face the next challenge. So there's any number of reasons that we might get thrown off center. And in today's world, well, really anytime, frankly, but it's incredibly important to have tools and techniques that we can use to bring us back to a place of centeredness and groundedness. Because when we are centered and grounded, we can be more ourselves. We can bring our best selves to the table. We can make choices and see actually the space of possibilities from which we can make wiser choices. We can choose to act or not act rather than react. So there's several reasons it's really good to be able to center and ground ourselves as and when we need to. So here are 3 tools and techniques that you can use. Some of them will work better for some people than others. Some of them will work for you at certain times and not at other times. So, add whatever works for you to this list so that you've got a growing set of tools that you can use. So the first one is super simple. You've undoubtedly heard this before. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. And in particular, I would say what I mean by a deep breath is when you breathe deep into your belly, almost to push your belly out to expand it. So your breath goes almost like it's going down into your belly. And from there, let your chest expand, right? So it's really a very full breath. Do that a few times, maybe even on the out breath. Breathe out with a sigh, just letting go whatever stresses and strains are in you. And breathe deep again back into the belly, and do this a few times. It's super powerful and it helps us center and ground into the body, and particularly into our power center, which is that place in the belly that different traditions have different names for. So that's technique number 1. Technique number 2 is going to be easier for some than others, depending on when and where you find yourself needing to do it. And that is go be in nature, go for a walk. Ideally, go and sit in nature and allow nature's stillness to ground you and center you. Listen to the sounds of nature around you, the birds singing, notice the colors of the foliage around you. Just really be in that space of feeling the beauty, the simplicity, the natural flow, ebbs and flows of nature. It's incredibly powerful. Not always the easiest. Sometimes maybe all you have is a little patio or a garden, and go sit in that. That's good enough. It doesn't need to be a big space. You don't need to be out in the middle of the countryside for this. Wherever you are, there's always some nature about you. Maybe it's simply looking out of the window of a city building and looking up at the sky and watching the clouds as they move and sway and shift and change shape. Even that is incredibly powerful. So that's tip number 2. Tip number 3 is then based on, you've probably heard sort of clues actually for tip number 3 and some of the other things I've already shared, and that is use the senses, any of the senses. So in the Positive Intelligence program, we have what we call a PQ rep, which is, as one of my clients described it, almost like a proto-meditation, right? Bringing meditation down to the smallest possible unit. And one of the simplest PQ reps is simply taking 2 fingers and rubbing them together very gently. Now, this is an exercise designed by a guy called Shazad Shamin, who is the founder of Positive Intelligence. And just do that right now with me. Very gently rub your fingertips together, and with such attention that you can feel the fingertip ridges on each finger. And if you do that for a minute or so, you'll notice that very quickly starts to quieten the mind and help bring you back to center. But you can use any of the senses, right? There's the sense of hearing, taste, we just did touch, smell, etc. So all of them can be brought into play that way, but that simple one with touch, rubbing the two fingertips together, is one of the easiest that you can do. Right, that is your 3 tips. I better go because my cat is meowing. He wants to be let out. But enjoy. Leave me a comment below and let me know which one works best for you, or if you've got other tips that work really well, share them in comments. They'll be useful for me and useful for others to read. Thanks very much, and see you in the next video.